This is the service video for the XFUSION H3C shock. Before you get started, you're going to need these tools. Inline torque wrench, a hand ratchet, 20 millimeter socket, 11 millimeter socket, your H3C service kit, including seal head tool, IFP tool, bleed adapter, standard eyelet torquing tool, compression piston glide ring compressor, trunnion eyelet torquing tool, rebound eyelet torquing tool, a T20 Torx wrench, a 1.5, a 2, and a 4 millimeter hex key, a set of needle nose, an S-shaped pick, a couple of bamboo chopsticks, your set of calipers, another torque wrench, lint-free towels, Torco RSF medium fluid to bleed on the vacuum machine, some slick honey, and some alcohol. Once we're ready to start, we're going to go ahead. First thing we're going to do is we're going to unload the spring. We're going to count how many revolutions it was set to. So that one was 2 revolutions of preload. Push the spring collar in and remove it. Go ahead and turn your rebound adjuster fully clockwise to the closed position. You can slide the spring off gently. Go ahead and reopen your rebound adjuster. From here, we're going to remove the nitrogen plug. Discard that. Using our 4 millimeter Allen key, we're going to depressurize the reservoir. So you want to turn this a couple of turns, wait for the hissing to stop before you remove it entirely. Set that aside. Next, we'll go ahead and remove the nitrogen plug itself. Once you have your set screw out, we're going to go ahead and remove the nitrogen plug. Discard that. We're going to grab our 3-pin reservoir removal tool and our 20 millimeter socket. And we're going to remove our reservoir cap. Next, we're going to take our seal head removal tool. Loosen the seal head. We're going to grab a rag, catch any oil that may come out with the piston. We're going to set that down. Go ahead and drain your shock into your waste oil bucket. Set the eyelet aside for now. Mount your rebound eyelet in the vise using a 10 millimeter socket. Remove your piston assembly. Make sure to hold the piston assembly from the bottom under here while you unthread it. Keep this as a whole unit and set aside. That way you don't have to worry about rearranging your shims. Go ahead and remove your seal head and your bottom mount bumper and travel limiter if you have one. From there, go ahead and turn your rebound dial fully clockwise until it stops. Grab your needle nose. Gently remove your Rebound Adjuster rod. Go ahead and remove your eyelet from the vise. And while unthreading the adjuster itself, keep a watchful eye for the detent ball to make sure you don't lose it. Once you have your Rebound assembly stripped, go ahead and take your seal head. Don't pull the seals just yet. Thread it back into your body just until the O-ring contacts. Make sure your platform switch is on 1 and make sure your low speed compression is all the way open. And then you're going to use an air blower to pop the IFP out. It does not take much pressure. Once your IFP is out, you can go ahead and work on stripping the seal head, and we'll let that sit to drain. Start by removing your outer body seal, your dust wiper, and your inner U-cup. Once that's stripped, go ahead and remove your rebound shaft seal. You remove your IFP seal, and we can move on to disassembling our eyelet. Go ahead and grab your 2mm Allen key. Start by removing your low speed adjuster. Then, using your 1.5 Allen key, remove your platform knob. Mount the eyelet in the vise. Using our small 3-pin compression tool, place that into the piston and your 20mm socket. Go ahead and crack that loose. Now, before you remove it, set that aside carefully. Take your 2mm Allen key, press into the center where those shims are, turn it upside down, push on this adjuster shaft, and slowly bring the whole assembly out. You want to be careful. Make sure your shim stack stays on your Allen key and just set it aside. Just like that. From here, you can set your secondary piston down and then your adjuster shaft. We're going to go ahead and we're going to remove this outer seal. This inner seal. And then on our platform shaft, we're going to remove this one. The last thing we need to disassemble is we need to pull this plate. Go ahead and push on one end of your circlip until the tail is in line with this access groove. And then you can get in here and pop it out. Careful not to let it fly across the shop. Then just use the back of your dental pick to pop it out. From there, we'll go ahead and change this seal. And we're ready to reseal and reassemble. Open your seal kit. We're going to start in the reverse order. So we're going to start with our detent plate. Go ahead and snap it back in. Go ahead and put your circlip back in. Then we'll move to our platform adjuster shaft. You'll notice on the back of this shaft you have this little tiny pin. You want to make sure that pin is centered. It keys into this piston. Go ahead and hold this. And we're going to work it from the underside until it pushes all the way through. Then we're going to go ahead and reseal the other side. Be sure on your piston stack, the smallest diameter shim goes against this blue face, and the largest diameter shim goes away from it. So the pyramid, when holding it like this, the pyramid should go from small to large. And it should taper that direction. We're going to then hold it vertically. Go ahead and get it started. And you're going to want to make sure you bottom it out before you flip it over. We're going to go ahead and we're going to torque this in to 60 inch-pounds. Go ahead and tighten on your low speed adjuster. For this side, for your platform knobs, you want your two detents to be vertical in line with the main shock body. So we're going to give that just a little bit of a twist. And then go ahead and install our platform lever. And we'll make sure that is clocked all the way over. From there, set that aside. Go ahead and install a new seal on your IFP. Install a new seal on your Rebound Adjuster shaft. you're going to want to clean and grease your detent ball. You're going to put some grease in this groove here, this one here, where the adjuster shaft will ride. Place your detent ball. Go ahead and turn your adjuster in. Place that in the vise. Put a little bit of grease on your rebound rod. Drop it in. Use your 4mm Allen key to lightly push down on it. And open your rebound adjuster fully. You should, at this point, be able to feel the rebound shaft moving up as you slow the adjuster, and then drop as you open the adjuster. Go ahead and replace your outer seal head seal, your dust wiper, and your U-cup. Your U-cup has a solid face and a hollow backside. Make sure the hollow backside is facing the oil. So when we put that in, we're going to push it down past its groove. And then work it up into position. Once you've got the U-cup worked into its gland, go ahead and put a little bit of slick honey in there. First, install your travel spacer if you have one, with the stage part of it facing up so that it keys into the bottom of your bumper. Put your bumper on. Work your seal head in place. Then we can go ahead and grab our piston assembly and thread our piston assembly on. This will torque to 90 inch-pounds. 90. Pull your seal head to the top. Then go ahead and remount your shock body in the vise. Install your damper assembly. This will torque to 380 inch-pounds. Okay. Go ahead and install your IFP. Follow that with your IFP depth setting tool. Then we can go over to the vacuum machine. You will need an H3C or Olin's TTX style vacuum adapter. Using a T20, remove the bolt from the back of the eyelet. Make sure your O-ring stays in place. Gently thread your bleed adapter into the back of the eyelet and just snug it. We'll go to the vacuum machine. For our H3C shock, you want to make sure you're using Torco RSF medium, as is the case with all XFUSION rear shocks. Once you've vacuumed the shock completely and removed all the air bubbles, make sure to relieve the pressure and vacuum from the system. so that it's at ambient. Go ahead and unthread your IFP tool. Using your calipers, you're going to set your IFP to the appropriate depth. Then go ahead and disconnect it from the machine. Bring it back over to the bench. Give your damper a good pull. Make sure it's fully extended. Unthread your vacuum adapter. Make sure to leave that O-ring in place. We're going to go ahead and change it out with a fresh one and install your bleed screw. This one goes to 60 inch-pounds. Wipe off the back of your eyelet. Remount the shock in the vise. Install your new nitrogen plug. The nitrogen plugs are rounded on one side and square cut on the other. Make sure the square cut is up facing you, rounded side facing the inside of the shock. Install your set screw to about 4 inch-pounds. Go ahead and change your reservoir seal. And install your reservoir cap. Go ahead and torque your cap to 150 inch-pounds. And we're ready for nitrogen fill. Make sure your nitrogen is set to 150 psi. Go ahead and compress the shock. And you're ready for the hand die now. Verify that your platform is working. Verify that your low speed compression is working. Okay. And lastly, verify your rebound is working. Once you've verified all function, last step will be to put your nitrogen plug in place. Go ahead and mount the shock into the vise. Grab your plastic protective ball. Give it a couple of taps with a hammer. That'll keep the consumers out of it. From there, go ahead and reset your low speed adjustment, rebound adjustment, install your spring, and you're done.